Okay, so we're live. Welcome to our Pacific Rim US stand-up. Here with me it's Patrick and Vijaya. So let us start with you, Vijaya.
Okay. I wrote two test cases for the job seeker as case manager and the job developer. I reviewed with Patrick yesterday. Patrick changed the approach for the test cases. I update those two test cases in my development. I ran the R specters, all tests are passed. Now I am going to create the pull request from the upstream and update into the my development environment. After that, I will do the rebase.
Okay, Patrick.
Yes, so I reviewed a bunch of PRs, two or three, forget which ones, but Arun's I remembered. He made the change already today, in fact. I edited my PR for the Cruncher API version 2 changes, made a minor change in some test data. I discussed with Tong Wei over Slack some aspects of preventing job reapplication. I think we may have painted ourselves in the corner and made it too restrictive. But anyway, we agreed that we'll talk to the client about some questions around that. I reviewed Vijaya's code and gave her some guidance on testing the two methods that she referred to. I edited a document for questions for Chet tomorrow, which I think we should look at. See if we're all in sync on that. And I spent a little time working on Sonia's story, reject application. So I pulled her branch and did a few changes and kicked it back to her. She's not available this week to work on the project much, but she's been communicating off and on through Slack off hours relative to me. And we've been going back and forth on pursuing that story. And that's it for me.
Okay, so for me today, I didn't do much. I just reviewed some PRs and merged some code, and I believe that was it for me today. So I see we have someone new here, Maciej or something. Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so I guess just a quick introduction from me. I'm really a guest, as it's written on the website. I hope you don't mind me just joining for a quick, basically to see how you're getting on. What's the structure of the meetup? Yeah, my story is basically I've done bootcamp a year ago, and I'm working now in a technical account management, but I want to do more coding, and I was thinking actually, to find a pair would be good, and especially in sort of like a late evening UK time. I'm in London, so that's the idea.
Okay, good. So, do you already know Agile Ventures?
I actually studied at bootcamp in London, and Sam Joseph was my tutor, so I'm kind of I know the idea.
Okay. So basically, this is one of our stand-ups where basically we are all in the US.
I know, I know.
And this is.
I hope you don't mind, basically, because I've chosen this one. Especially because it's quite late in the evening, so I can do some stuff in the evening if that's my evening. I mean.
Basically, there's no problem for you to join us, and could join any. That's why they are public, our stand-ups.
Yeah.
And it's also part of the policy of the Agile Ventures community. So, welcome again.
Thank you.
So you're aware, more or less. Basically, we are just. Here in the US, I believe the majority of people that's in the US are working on MedPlus, and the majority is the three of us.
Okay.
I think there are like two more that also in the US, but are not working with our project. Basically, we are doing MedPlus, don't know if you know the client or not, the project or not. If you want, you can take a look at it.
I'll have a look. What's the tech stack? Is it like mainly Ruby, or you do some front end as well? Front end I'm mainly interested in. So
we basically Mat Plus is it's a 2-block application. It has 1 block code in Ruby and 1 block in Java. Basically, the idea behind the Mat Plus project is there's a non-profit from Detroit that basically what it does, it works as an employment agency, and what the client does is tries to get jobs to people that don't have jobs. So creates a connection between the jobs and employers and employees. And we are developing the tool that will help him manage his agency. And so roughly that's it. We have things on the front end. We have things on the Ruby side. We have things on the Java side. So if you want to look through it, you can just pop into the Agile Ventures project and take a look.
Okay, will do. Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
How do you pronounce your name, by the way?
Maciek.
Maciek. Okay.
Yeah, it's Polish. Yeah.
Great. I did want to correct one thing too. We do have 4 other people on the project outside the U.S. We call them the Asia team. There's 3 people in India and 1 person in Singapore. And we talk to them. I talk to them 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which would be about midday your time. So probably wouldn't work for you. But anyway, just to let you know.
Yeah. Okay. Keep in mind that.
Yep.
Okay. I didn't forget the Asia team. Don't worry, Patrick.
Just want to make sure we get that mentioned.
I was just talking about people in the US.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to parking lot then. Do you have the document with you there, so you can share your screen? Or do you want me to share my screen with it?
I'll share.
Okay.
All right.
So Patrick.
Okay. So, can everybody see my screen?
Oh, just so you know, much, right?
Right.
Yeah. So tomorrow we are going to have a. Oh, you already told that. So we are going to have the MVP meeting with our client, and so we are now going to take a look into some of the questions that we have, and we have also a Google Doc that we'll have to go through. Not today, but tomorrow. Okay, just
Okay.
we'll text. Okay, sorry, Patrick.
Yeah, so for Magic's awareness, that Google Doc is here. You could look at it. It's linked to from the AV site, from our project page, somewhere under, I think, Scrum meetings, under documents. Anyway, so a couple of questions coming out of the discussion that I had with, well, the first question came out of the discussion I had with Peng Wei. And I had made some comments on her PR pull request. And I didn't think the pull request was responsive to the story. And the story itself, I think I've rethought anyway. But she's implemented a restriction where a job seeker cannot apply to another job, to the same job they've applied to before. Which sounds reasonable. If you applied to it once and it's under consideration by the company, why should we allow a second application? However, my thinking is, though, that if the job is still active, or the job status is active, and the job seeker's application has been rejected, it's been marked as not accepted, there may be situations where we should allow a reapplication to the same job by the same job seeker. For instance, a job seeker could talk to the job developer, and the job developer could contact the company, and the company could have misunderstood the credentials of the job seeker, things like that. And so the job developer basically says, well, we should reapply because you should reconsider this guy based upon our discussion, etc. So the job developer is a broker. He's doing his job, and he's trying to find out if they rejected the job seeker for a good reason or if they kind of misinterpreted. So I could see that happening. So that's a pro. an argument for allowing reapplication. There are other arguments for as well. There are other arguments for against or con, but I just have one con here just for balance. And this is something that Tong Wei mentioned in our chat on Slack this morning, which is a job seeker could basically pester the company by reapplying multiple times, even after they've been marked as rejected for their initial application. I don't think that's going to happen a lot, but it's a possibility. So again, there's other pros and cons for saying yes or no to this. So this question here encapsulates some of the back and forth that Tong Wei had and I had this morning.
Okay, so can I just go in here and break everything?
And do what?
Break everything?
Break everything?
Yes. I think we shouldn't talk about that tomorrow.
Why not?
Let's do it like this. For tomorrow's meeting, at least I think we should just tackle all the MVP part. Okay? And then when we're finished, if we have some time, we can pick this up. In the meanwhile, I think this looks like a new feature. Maybe, because when we talked to Chet, we had no. We told him that people shouldn't reapply to the job, and he was okay with that. And this change, the change that we are talking about, the possibility of having some places where, or some situations where you could do this or that, that looks like a very cumbersome process that I'm not sure I want to go deep in now. I would prefer to just try to close this this release that we have, and when we have closed this release, we'll pick this up and we'll try to tackle it. What do you guys think about that?
I have no problem with that. I think it definitely could be post MVP, so we could move it out of an MVP discussion.
Yep.
I think the second one might be a candidate though for discussion.
Okay, so
tomorrow.
Let's go to the second. Shoot.
So here we have a situation where, remember now we have a job seeker who can only apply once to the job. And so they apply to the job and all is well and good, but then they realize that they want to update their resume. The resume didn't really reflect their qualifications very well. So they go and update their resume. They can't reapply to the same job and hence have their resume be sent to the company. So here's the thing, that's okay, as long as maybe the job seeker can go and if they've applied to a job at that company, for that job they can resend their resume, or the job developer can resend it on their behalf, so that the employer gets an updated resume. The reason why this is important, and it wasn't an issue before, is we always thought that the employer could come into PETS, click on a link, and see in line the job seeker's resume. Well, the last client call we had, Chet said that no, for privacy restrictions, we don't want to have employers directly access job seeker's resume in PETS. So the employer doesn't have a way to see an updated resume after the job application has occurred. So we need to find some way to get around this. So here, I was thinking that we'd be able to send a revised resume, email it to the employer after the job application has already occurred. We'd have a template that basically explains what's going on. We're attaching a revised resume, possibly updated resume for this job seeker, that kind of thing. And that would allow us to basically get updated credentials to the employer. Make sense?
Yep, makes sense. It makes sense.
Based on the employer's policies and procedures. It's dependent.
Yeah, I think this is a hole in our logic that arose from the privacy restriction that we ended up with after the discussion with Chet. So it didn't really dawn on me until I was thinking about reapplying to a job and the fact that we can't, but we have updated information from the job seeker that's critical to the employer to consider. We need to come up with something here.
So, this is going to open a lot of things now, because if we say, okay, the job developer can resend the resume, okay, so we need to somehow have the job seeker tell the job developer to resend the resume, and which resume does he want to resend. So this brings up another problem. If we say that the user can just resend their resume, we're basically allowing him to reapply again, right? So I don't know.
It's not. Yeah, we're essentially it's a it's updating their information. It's not a job application in our database though, so it doesn't require changes at that level. It's just an email going out.
Yeah, but we need to have some logic there. Yeah,
the logic. I mean, you can't just send your resume to any employer that you happen to have a job application against. You have to be in the job application view, and you say, I want to resend my resume to the employer in regards to this particular application that I made.
Can you show me the job application view?
The job application view. I don't know if we have.
Okay,
I
so
can bring it up now. But
basically, it's just you enter a job, and so you enter a job, and it's in a dead page, right, where you just applied.
It's in a dead place, you said? Yeah.
No, I'm thinking out loud. Just don't mind me. So basically, this job application page is when you apply to a job. You can go inside again to the job application after you enter
so
it.
I just logged in as a job seeker here, and I have my job applications listed here. So I'll click on one, and this is the thing I would be looking at. We'd have to have a control here that says resend your resume for this job or something like that. This would be a starting point anyway. So the company, so we would send it to the company person associated with the job, if there is such a thing. No, actually we'd send it to the company job email. But the template would say, this is a revised resume for this particular job seeker, for this particular job.
But with that, we also will need to notify the job developer that was another change.
We could, yep.
We have to reset the timers.
We would have to, we probably should notify the job. I'm sure he'd want to be notified.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do it like this. Tomorrow on the meeting, let's review all the MVP list. If we do have some time, we can review this question about the resending the resume and see what impacts that has and everything afterwards.
Well, we could, another approach would be the employer can come in and review inline a resume of anybody who's applied to one of their jobs. That's not violating job seeker privacy because the job seeker's already sent the resume anyway to the company. And that way the company could see the most recent version of the resume. On the other hand, because we've trained them to look at resumes attached to email, it might make sense to continue with attaching resume to email because that's how we start the process.
For now, I think it's easier for us to just send the
It definitely
resume.
is. Definitely.
Let's do it like this. We will talk with Chad tomorrow, and nevertheless, I don't want to add this whatever conclusion we get on with this answer. I don't want to add it to the time that currently Tongwei already spent there. They're doing whatever she's doing. Okay, so I would like to close the story, the story that the job seeker cannot reapply, and just close it like it is. And then we'll create a new feature, that's a possibility. So one thing is the user that cannot apply, another thing is the user that has the ability to resend their resume. So two different features here.
So this particular thing I'm talking about has nothing to do with Tongwei's story. This is orthogonal to that. Tongwei's story.
It's a previous one.
Yeah, well, Tongwei's story that she's working on now, I think has got some problems.
Job seekers already applied to the job. Okay, so we'll talk about that afterwards. The Tongwei issue. Basically, the problem with the PR that Tongwei has is that we need to understand what we will do if the change stays, if the state changes or something like that, or what are the possibilities for them to reapply. Okay, so just never mind what I said. Eventually, we might close with the same thing, with the same point here. The fact that if the problem with Tongwei is that when you apply once, you can never ever apply again to that job. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are of your job application. If you have an application, you cannot apply again, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem. Are you reading, Patrick? Patrick, are you there? Hello. Are you there, Patrick? Patrick? Hello. Oh. Are you? Can't you talk back? We cannot hear you. So, were you reading? Never mind. Tomorrow we will talk with Chat, and we will schedule like 10 minutes or something afterwards, and we'll talk a little bit about the PR from Tongwei. Eventually, we might be able to just merge it, and afterwards we will correct any strange behavior that we come up from whatever we're talking. Or the conclusion we get when we talk to Chat about the question number 1. Okay? No?
No.
You don't want to talk tomorrow and then decide what we want to do? No? Okay. So I'll decide what we want to do. Okay, we can talk tomorrow. That was what I was saying. Let me think.
Tomorrow-
Another thing, Vijay. Just a question. Did you added the tests to your PR, right? Did you rebase your PR because I saw it this morning? It was not needed to have a rebase there.
Yeah, some merge
Yeah.
conflict.
Okay, so I think we'll be good and we can merge that. I'll try to merge it today.
Yeah, I
Okay.
did that rebase at my PR. I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay. And tomorrow morning meeting is 10 a.m. Eastern time.
It's 10 EST. Yeah.
Okay, I will attend. I think my time is 7 o'clock. Okay, I'll attend tomorrow.
Your time it should be like 8,
Yeah, I think 7.
7. Yeah, it's 3 hours. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll see you guys tomorrow. I have to leave now, and we'll talk tomorrow with chat and afterwards a little bit about the other issues. Okay.
Okay.
See you tomorrow.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.